Hello, welcome to Astro Breeze weekly transits, and we are almost at the end of this year. I can't believe it. So today's 12/12/23, and we are, I guess the biggest thing is the new moon. We're on a new moon today, and you can see the nice sun moon conjunction there. The sun just set in the eastern part of the country, and you can see it's lining up perfectly right now at 20 degrees. 20 degrees. Actually, it's pretty close to now. A few minutes off. So, and then Mars is close by. And, they both just passed over Mars. So Moon went over Mars today. So there should have been some kind of emotional energy freed up, or you felt good about something, or you're aligned, or something was there because it's Sagittarius energy too, which is always fun. Getting stuff moving outward. It's focused out, it's masculine, it's outward, it's definitely outward. Shiny object syndrome. What's over there? Let's go travel. Come on. What's wrong with you? So anyway, new moon, time for intentions. And with the Sag new moon this year, it's a jolly good moon. It's a good, happy, positive new moon, lively. So it's a good one to make some intentions on. And at this, there's always got to be like, the fly in the ointment. There's always got to be something there. And look at Mercury just stationing. It is like still, it's very strong in Capricorn right now, and it's going to be, that it's going to start its retrograde right there at 8. So it'll be a little bit before we get out of that degree. So it's going to go back into Sagittarius, and it's going to go back over the sun. Went over the sun a while ago. It's going to go back over. The moon's going to go over it first. So it's going to be making some of those aspects that it just made recently. All right, so we got that, and then we got the moon. Also, it was, it's conjunct the sun, but it's also, it conjuncted Mars. Conjuncted Mars. Now moon is conjuncting the sun. So moon's got a lot of energy. Wow, look, it might need to to go get some, to get some water or something. It's in a fire sign. It just went over fire. It's getting more fire. It may be really, burning out those emotions. Careful, you don't burn out the emotions too much. If you are, or maybe someplace that's easy to get overstimulated right now. Let's put that. So that's, the moon. So for the next week, the moon is actually going to be traveling kind of from fire sign to fire sign. It's going to start in Sagittarius, and next week when we meet up, it's going to just be moving into Aries. So that's a good amount of, right at the, it's like the last 10 degrees of Sag, and then it'll just start, into Aries. So we're kind of on a fire cycle here with the moon. So look in your chart. If you don't know your time, just look and see if it's going to impact any planets. Does the moon, it's going to go over any of those planets that are in those signs. So that's something that you can always look at if you don't know your time. Okay, moving on. What do we got here? So moon aspects today. We got just like one other little funky thing. The moon is like not having a real good conversation with Uranus. It's like a quincunx. So something that could come up that just like, oh man, oh, one of those kind of things. Something could just come up and you just don't relate to it, or you just can't flow with it. So just know that. All right, as we move into tomorrow, Wednesday, and I'm just going to keep it for the late afternoon here. It's more of a moon day, but we have Mercury will retrograde. It retrogrades like at 10 in the morning, I think. It's still showing stationary. All right. Anyway, so we got that really still in space. Hopefully, you've kind of done a lot of stuff. You get a little bit ahead of it. It is what it is. It does it 3 times a year for 3 weeks. So there could be different follow-ups, but just be more careful, pay more attention to things, redo certain things, go over. It's a time to redo stuff. I mean, we need to redo stuff all the time. So maybe shift modes from create. And this is kind of weird too, because we're just having a new moon, which is kind of like creating, getting going on a new moon, and then we have Mercury retrograde, so you got to kind of redo. So that's a little bit of a paradox, but that stuff happens all the time, and it's like a little bit of both. You got to get going on something, but you still have to go over maybe some things that need to be kind of put in place at the same time. Revise some foundation. There we go. Revise some foundations. All right, so that's that. And then coming into Thursday, it's a real nice kind of smooth day. We need just sort of that. The moon, it's really just the moon. It's all about the moon that day. And it makes nice aspects. It makes a sextile, a conjunction, a sextile, and a trine. It conjuncts Mercury. You can see it, earlier that day it went over Mercury here early because I got it set for 6:30. So earlier in the day it went over Mercury, and then it sextiles over to Venus. There's Venus down here. It's in the sign, water sign to earth sign, it's feminine sign. So we got that. Moon would have just done that. And then it's going to make a trine over to Uranus, earth sign to earth sign. So what does that mean? Well, our feelings, okay? The feelings maybe got, you're able to communicate your feelings about practical matters, when it went over Mercury. And then it was like easy to do that with that nice flow of Venus. Maybe you got into something. Maybe you discovered the depth of something because Venus is in Scorpio. Maybe you're able to look at something deeper than you had before. And then maybe something kind of clear, like sort of out of the blue, or something, a revelation, with Uranus in an earthy Taurus, maybe you overlooked something and that kind of went in your favor. It was, like a benefic, a hidden surprise or something like that. So that's a really nice day. So Thursday is kind of sweet on that level, not really deep, but just kind of humming along like that. And then Friday the 15th, get all your packages in the mail by that date, right? To be delivered by Christmas. We've got an interesting void of course moon, and we're going to get into that a little bit more as we progress ahead. But one thing you can look at, what's the last aspect before it goes void? Like, what was the last conversation it had? And then what's the next one it's going to have after it moves into the new sign? So if it's a yucky aspect, that's not good. And if it makes an aspect to any of the malefics, Mars, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, it's not as well as making an aspect to Venus, Jupiter energy. So I think that's about the ones, or the signs that they rule. But we'll get back into that. But anyway, the moon is void, of course, on Friday morning from it's like 11:04 a.m. till like 1 in the afternoon. So that's a long one. So this Friday, you can see the moon. Let's see what I got to go back. Just I want to show you. Let's do by hours. What did I say? 11 a.m. A few minutes. What that means. All right. 11:04 moon. Okay, so the moon, just its last aspect was a conjunction to you can see it right here. It conjuncted Pluto. All right. So it's at 28 degrees. So let's see, all day then. Let's see the moon. Let's see where it's going to be. Let's see what's the very first. Let me look at this and I'll get it set up for you here. It moves back in at 1 o'clock. 12. Okay. Moves into the next sign. So moon stays 28 degrees. So there's nothing else at any later degrees, right? Nothing later than 28. So it's not going to make any degrees there. You just go hours. So nothing at 29. See, the moon took an hour to move that. There's nothing at 29. All right. And then nothing at, let's see, moon, nothing at 0. The only thing that it's coming up to, you might know it's coming up to Saturn, but it's not a major aspect away. It's only a 30 degrees away. So we don't count it. So it doesn't, it's just at one sign away. So we're not counting that. So there's still nothing. And then, okay, I keep losing moon there. And then there it is, 1 degree, and it's still nothing. Let's see, what's the earliest? Maybe a 5 degrees. Okay, so that might be the first thing that it makes I think that's right. It makes an aspect to, yeah. Yep. So, okay, so so back to the moon. Moon is at 1 degree, and there's nothing in here at 2, 3, or 4 degrees that it's going to make an aspect with. The first planet that it will make an aspect to would be 5 degrees in Jupiter. See, Jupiter is at 5. So let's just go ahead another hour. Moon 2, moon 3, moon 4, and let's just go, let's just do it there. Okay, so moon 5. Moon 5 degrees will then make a square, because it's a fixed sign, over to Jupiter. So that's the first aspect that it makes. Okay, the moon makes after it goes out of a void, after it goes into the next sign, right? Because the moon was in Capricorn, and then it moved into Aquarius, and then it was in nothing. So right here is its first thing that it makes. So it makes a square to a benefic. Oh man, why couldn't it make something nicer? Then it would have been kind of cool. So coming into Friday, the first aspect, luckily it's kind of late, but for your West Coast people, this is like 7 at night. So it could be kind of crummy, with the moon. The first aspect that it makes when it moves into the new sign is a crummy aspect to a benefic. It's a square. So we got some kind of blocked energy, maybe some blocked spending, maybe some problems with money, moving money around. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, we'll just start looking at that. So we'll see what that is. So anyway, the last aspect that it made was an aspect to Pluto. Ew. Right? It made a conjunction to Pluto, and then it's making a square when it comes in, when it goes void. Of course, it's not making any aspect. It kind of goes to sleep for a while. It's offline. When it comes online, then it's got a square to deal with. So moon's not too happy, right? It's like it just had to deal with a bad Jose right before it got off of work. Then it had, some time off, and then when it does its next shift, goes back online, it's got to deal with a square to an angry, somebody that was nice. Now they're like shitty and pissed off about something. So anyway, we'll start looking at those moon voids, of course, as they go out and then they come in to different signs, and see, how that is. You might be hopefully making little notes here, and then just kind of see that. So if you're a night owl, on the East Coast, it's 10 o'clock, then Central it'd be 9. In Mountain Time, it would be 8, and West Coast would be 7. And then I can't do the rest of the world. Think about it. It would just be going that way. Anybody the other way would probably be sleeping, and it really wouldn't matter so much. So anyway, that's definitely an interesting thing that we'll look at more. Okay, rounding out our horoscope here, our little weather, our astrology weather. Okay, going into Saturday. See, anything else Friday? Yes, I talked about that. That was mainly that. Saturday, well, we got a moon. It's going to square Venus, and it's going to sextile Mars. Did I get that right? Let's see, where's Venus? Yeah, fixed sign. And that's going to kind of be maybe a little nasty. Be careful of any romantic, emotional somethings, anything like that, because we got moon, and just like moon is in I can care less Aquarius. I'll be who I want to be when I want to be, to an angry lover, or something. We got Venus in intense Scorpio. Why did you do that to me? I'll never forgive you. The moon is just like, or whatever. It's just, the moon is just like not into it. It's just unemotional. And Venus is there, like the wounded, scorned lover, something. I mean, it's intense, or it wants some answers, or it wants to get to the bottom of something, and the moon is shrugging it off. So anyway, that could definitely be a thing of the day. And then it's sextiling Mars, so it's like, hey man, I'm out of here. It's like, it's party time. I want to go. Moon, masculine sign, Mars, masculine sign. It's like, oh, my buddy's going to pick me up. I'm going, or we're going out, man. And then like, somebody else is like, why does he hate them? Why do they always get to do that? Rah. So there's a little bit of some kind of tension or something going on with that. Watch for that. Oh yeah, okay, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna go from bad to worse. So the moon is squaring. Where is it? There it is. 24 degrees. Mutable sign, squaring Neptune. So here's the deception. Here's the confusion. So be careful. don't get to be confused, and it's like an icky energy. So yeah, squaring Neptune. That's the lie. That's the Sun squaring Neptune. That's the thing that's gonna get you caught. Gonna get the see, I told you, I knew it. So don't say I didn't warn you. All right, moving on to the next day, Sunday. Oh, the moon also is going over Saturn. So it's like, there's no way. Then your feelings, and then you're going to feel bad or get caught or lie. So don't do it. It's like, whatever it is, this day is like, for those of you, that those are on, some of those are on more specific degrees for you. This is not a good scene. So don't do it. Don't. Okay, whatever it is. Sunday, we got the moon and let's see, where is it? Moon and sun. Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. So we got the moon. Oh, you already talked about it's gone over. See, it's like early. Moon has gone over Saturn, so it's just the crap is going to start if you do something. It's going to start Saturday and go into Sunday. It's going to just drag on. Oh dear. Okay, and then we got another void of course moon, and this one's from 7 in the morning until like 3 in the afternoon. So it's a long one. And then the moon, it's gonna, it's gone into Pisces here. So that's gonna just be modeling. This is gonna be like just harangue you emotionally. It could be just wanting to space out, to disengage, to expand. And if you're not into anything on the devious side, it can just be resting in expanding and getting into maybe more mystical side, more spiritual side, which is apropos for a Sunday. And then that's great for a void of course moon, to just be in that unleashed area. So yeah, it'll come back online, and then again it will make a sextile to Jupiter when it comes back online. You see here the very next aspect it makes, that 5 degrees right over here, and then it will also make a sextile over to Mercury. So this is very interesting here because it's kind of like we got it. The moon is in the middle here, making aspects both ways. We got this feminine little sextile trine. Then here we got Mercury. I mean, just the day before. Well, it's retrograding, so it will retrograde into, which probably the next day. There it is. See, it's into that trine now with coming into Monday. Mercury is going to go back and it's going to make that trine now over to Jupiter, which it was a week or so ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. So whatever, there's going to be some things repeating kind of because Mercury's going over the same area that it was. Okay, and then coming into Tuesday, the moon moves. You can see, look at moon moves into Aries, and it's almost 2 more hours ago on East Coast time, but still it made it back into a fire sign. So that was a good little traverse the moon had there. And it'll be into lively Aries. All right, more to follow. This will be next week, but we'll just go back to Monday. Just wanted you to see that. Oh, went to Sunday. Those trips. Okay, so just finishing up your week. Nothing else really major significant. You know, everything is kind of holding. Saturn finally got off of that 1 degree. My goodness, it was right on my Saturn. Finally moved off. It's 2 degrees. It's been like in that 0 and 1 for quite a while. So that's moved off, and it's nice to have that changed. And then you can see the Saturn and Jupiter. You know, Saturn moved 1 more degree this way, and Jupiter's still retrograde, and then they're going into a sextile. You know, they're like 3 degrees sextile. So as Jupiter before it goes direct, you know, it will just make it a little bit more of a tighter sextile there with Saturn, which is nice. You know, that they're in a good conversation in feminine signs. Okay, that's it for today and this week. Yeah, I guess that's it. Stay safe and talk next week. All right, bye for now.